Hey, what's up, guys? This is MJ100K. Today, we're going to do a little bit of used car shopping. I'm going to show you how I shop for used cars at home. This is a very serious screening process that I do. I like to screen the car before I even go on the car lot. So I got two cars that we could look at. Let's check them out. This is the 2006 Mazda 3, 40, about $4,500. That's not too bad. And looks like it's in pretty good shape. Here we go. I just did a video on what is the best year, Mazda 3. So you could check that out when you get a chance. But here we go. This is what I do. I like to look at the Carfax. And the way I do that is very simple. Just go to the dealer website. So here we go. We're on the dealer website now. And we are going to look for the same exact car that we just saw on Car Gurus because that is how you find the Carfax. So here we go. Here it is. Same as that car, 5 speed, everything. Show me the Carfax. Now, look, Carfax is not perfect because if you do the work yourself, it's never going to show up on the Carfax. And I don't know, I think maybe some shops aren't tied in with the records of how they keep them. So just because everything's not on here doesn't necessarily mean that somebody didn't do the oil changes and things like that. But anyway, this is what I would consider maybe a average Carfax. So there's nothing too bad. There's no big accidents. There's an accident, but let's see. That accident, front or side, damage to front, airbags did not deploy. And this was back in 2007. So I think that's probably fine by now. When you're on Carfax and you're looking at accidents, what you don't want to see is, like, let's say there was an accident here, and then you see next month alignment, and then alignment, and then another alignment. Like, what that's telling me is that the frame is probably damaged so bad that the alignment cannot even cure the accident problem. So, yeah, I used to see that when I was a mechanic because you could do an alignment and you can adjust things, but you can only adjust them so far. If the frame itself is bent, then you got to take it to a body shop and they have to try to straighten the frame, which is not what mechanics do. You got to get a body shop guy to do that. All right, anyway. So yeah, this is not a bad Carfax. It's not too bad. Got a coolant temperature sensor, and they do emissions there in California. So they're doing emissions, and that's good. If they pass emissions, then you could probably assume that the check engine light is not on, which is good. So here we go. Oil filter changed. There's a recall here. I looked into this. It looks like the steering wheel logo. They think that the logo might hurt you if the airbag goes off. So this you could just call the Mazda dealer and give them the VIN numbers. Make sure they've done the recall. If not, yeah, you could take it in and they can do it. Not a big deal. And they're passing the missions. I'm not seeing a lot of oil changes, but this is not bad. It doesn't mean they didn't get the oil change, but we're just not sure. So yeah, that is average Carfax. Like a perfect Carfax would be like if you see everything on here, and it's like every 5,000 miles, oil change, trans flush, coolant flush, brake flush, everything flush. So yeah, that's like a perfect Carfax. It's gonna take a while to find one of those, but if you find it, then try to get that car. So anyway, yeah, this not a bad Carfax. Let's look at the next one. All right, so this is contestant number 2. This one don't look too bad, but looks can be deceiving, as we will find out from the Carfax. So it looks okay. At least, see, it's nice and clean, and it's got a Bose sound system, right? So you might look at this and say, "Give me that car right now. I don't need a mechanic to inspect it. I don't need to inspect the Carfax," but you do, and I will show you why in one moment. All right, so here we go on the dealership's website. Let's look for the same exact car that we just saw, pre-owned under 10K. That sounds like my style. So here we go. Same car we were just looking at. Hi, Candace. Yeah, I know. I don't need you right now, Candace. Thanks you for offering though. Here we go. See, the same exact car. Only difference now we get to see the Carfax, and it's one owner. Let's just buy this car and not even think about it. Wrong. This is my problem I saw with this car. See, I missed it the first time I was looking at this car, but then I looked closer and I was like, wait a minute. So here we go. Let's see the history. Oil filter changed. Power steering pump replaced. That's okay at 41,000. All right. It's good they do this. This car has an electric power steering pump, which I talk about in my what is the best year Mazda 3 video. So if that is replaced, then that's good. But look, this is my problem with this car. 53,000 miles. Battery charging system check. Okay, well, let's look further. 59,000 miles. Battery charging system checked again. What's going on here? Now, look, it's good they got the transmission flush, but I don't like this battery charging system checked right after in only a few thousand miles. And guess what? Battery charging system checked again. What's going on? What's wrong with this battery charging system check? Now, battery cable replaced. What's happening here? Then again, battery charging system checked again. Battery replaced. No start or hard start condition. What's going on with you? And again, wait, I don't know if this is the same exact. This might be the same. Actually, no. This is like a year later. Why they only drove like 100 miles in the whole year? Maybe that's the problem. Maybe they're letting the car sit for too long. Maybe that's why the battery messed up. All right. Then again, battery charging system check. And that's kind of a red flag too. You don't want to let cars sit for that long. Cars when cars sit, that's a problem. That's like my mom had a car, a Toyota Camry. It was in perfect condition. She let it sit for a while without driving it. And then I started driving it. The trans was all messed up. The trans was messed up. The shocks were messed up. Like you have to drive cars. You can't let them sit. So again, batteries, high voltage battery. Look at all this. Battery again. And then what are we gonna do? Wait, oh, they installed a battery charger here. And then a few months later, they check it again. See, I'm trying to use my mechanic psychic ability. So I'm trying to use my mechanic CSI detective skills. And what I suspect happened is they kept trying to fix this battery problem and then they gave up. And then boom, vehicle offer for sale. Now you tell me if they did all this work to finally fix this battery problem and then they decide to sell it after they finally fix it, or they try to fix it and it doesn't quite work, and then they say they get frustrated and then they say, I'm going to sell this car. And then there's somebody who's going to come along and buy it, but it's not going to be any of us. I certainly hope not. Now, look, I would actually, no, I wouldn't get this car at all. You know why? Because it was sitting for a year. They keep having this battery system check problem. And yeah, I don't like it. I don't want this car anymore. I don't care if you replaced the transmission fluid twice already. See, look, they did all this to fix it, but I don't know. I'm weirded out by this car. I don't want it anymore. But look, that is what happens. Like, this is why we look at the Carfax. So we can see what's going on with these cars, you know? We can't, if you do your detective work, you can see through problems like this. But you know what the problem is? Even if you have a mechanic go and inspect a car, they're not going to know this whole history. They're not going to know that the car was sitting for a year, which is not good for cars. They're um they're probably not going to check for a parasitic current draw, like which is what's maybe happening here, something that keeps drawing the battery down. And somebody now has installed a battery charger. Like, I don't want that. I don't How do I know they installed that right? So yeah, I'd rather get the first car in this scenario than the second one because of all this uh, battery charging system check. I think if it was a good mechanic, he probably would have fixed it the first time or at least the second time, not just trying to fix it over and over and over again and then putting a charger on it. Like, no, no, that's not a good sign. I don't want that car, and I don't want you to get it either. But it's up to you if you want to get it. That's okay. Yeah. But anyway, that is how I look at used cars. I try to piece together what has happened. But anyway, if you have any questions, you can put them in the comments. Before you buy any used car, make sure to get it inspected. You could call a mobile mechanic to go look at the car at the dealership for you. And whatever problems they find, you could use that information to lower your offer a little bit, which will help you offset the cost of paying a mechanic. I mean, it's probably going to cost you 150 bucks to pay a mechanic to go look at it. And that'll be the best 150 bucks you ever spent because I'm telling you, when I was a mechanic, people would bring me their cars after they bought them to do the first inspection, and they'll be so terrible. They'll be rusted out and trans slipping. Sometimes these used car lots, man, they will purposely try to rip you off. I have seen uh, another mechanic told me one time he was working at a used car lot and the tire had a bubble sticking out the side of it, right? Which is completely unsafe. So he had to do the used car inspection. And he said, yeah, he told his boss, he's like, yeah, it needs a new tire. And his boss was like, take the tire off the rim, change it around so that the bubble is pointing inside so that people won't see it. Oh my gosh. So he ended up quitting, and that's when I was working with him at Honda. But yeah, this is the kind of evil, low down, dirty stuff people at used car lots will do. Not all of them, obviously, but some of them, oh man, they're treacherous. They're going to get you. But they're not going to get you if you screen the Carfax, have a mechanic look at it, this way, we could do the best we can to avoid getting ripped off. Because even if this car only costs 4 or 5 thousand dollars, that is a lot of money. Okay, especially if you don't have a lot of money, that is like almost all the money you have in the world. I remember my first car was like 900 bucks, so I know what I'm talking about. Anyway, thank you for tuning in. If you have any questions, put them in the comments, and I will be glad to answer them. Thank you for tuning in, and have a good one.